Hi, this is Stuart Katz, and I wanted to talk a little bit as we continue to face the coronavirus about empathy and coping with isolation while we're dealing with this. We're all pretty much of the world now is engaged in what's known as physical distancing. Some call it social distancing, but there is a difference, and we will address that. But during this time of physical distancing, and many of us are in self-isolation for the safety of ourselves, our families, our communities, we're looking for the correct ways that we can support one another. And now more than ever is the time for community. We need our community. We need our various communities that we may belong to. But the question arises, how do we support those around us? Particularly those of us that rely on two very fundamental concepts. One is listening, and the second is empathy. And when we reach out to one another, we often offer a shoulder to cry on. We can offer a listening ear. One of the things we teach in mental health first aid is we always want to listen non-judgmentally. We just want to be there and listen. We want to be able to acknowledge another one's feelings and offer empathy. In explaining empathy, let me just say empathy is often misconstrued for sympathy. And often the words are used interchangeably, but the difference between them is dramatic. The difference between a sympathetic and an empathetic response can make all the difference in the world. Being sympathetic is a response to a feeling from outside, whereas empathy stems from being inside or alongside a feeling with someone that we truly care about or someone that we're just meeting for the first time, a stranger that we may be trying to support. To support those around us during this time of COVID-19, empathy requires us to put ourselves into their shoes, or at the very least, to think about similar feelings that we may have. Many of us are continually experiencing feelings of uncertainty, anxiety, even panic. We may be concerned what's going to happen next. What's the health and the welfare of our family and friends? How can we acknowledge these feelings in someone else when we're feeling them ourselves? But acknowledging these feelings and possibly feeling them and sharing them together can help us, can help people in our community feel less alone. While we may not truly and fully understand where someone else is coming from, and it's very tempting to try and lessen people's concerns, but to be empathetic, we also have to put aside how we feel in order to be with the person and understand their perspective first. Then we can show true empathy. We have to seek to understand before we seek to be understood. It's fine that we share our own thoughts, particularly if they're similar to the person in our community that we're talking to, but we must remember that the focus is on comforting the person who is sharing with us. Many of us can think back to times when we felt supported, were times when someone actually took the time to really listen to us and hear what we have to say. And now, with so much uncertainty surrounding us during COVID-19, during the coronavirus, we might not be able to make things better for people. Empathy doesn't always mean having advice or even having practical solutions, but it can help. What empathy means is providing comfort or support when people need it the most, and providing a source of connection between two or more people. Empathy, now more than ever, can help break down the walls of social distancing and self-isolation when it is needed the most. It is needed today more than ever. Wishing all of us an empathetic day.